Welcome to Live Coding with Gerph. We are hopefully live and going to be working on, what am I working on? Window Manager templates. Yes, so we've got some templates we are trying to make work, reading the file content in and making the template come out as a loadable window icon. So as I've mentioned on the chat, there's a Git repository up here on GitHub, and there's also details of what we are implementing here. Nope, that's not it. One I've linked is clearly wrong. Let's try that again, shall we? Let's go to phase 1. I thought I'd linked to the right one. Hopefully I've linked to the right one. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that looks like I linked to the right one. I just clicked the wrong link, wrong page. So far we've done opening and closing, and I'm working on reading the templates from the template file, which is just being a bit of a pain for some reason. Not sure why, but we will see. So, I still have a little bit of cold. Apologies. So, here's the where we're up to. We're reading the template. Seek the location, read the header size. If we failed, return EOF. Otherwise, get some bytes, write some words into our buffers, and then get some data out. So this is what we've been doing here, and this is all running through a harness. We've got a test harness, I think, in here that tries to read it and stuff, which hopefully will do the right thing. We should probably also report whether we failed or not as well. Yeah, let's include that. Window buffer failed. What? Oh, my keys have all gone funny. What's going on? Carabiner. No, not that one. Carabiner elements. Hash. No, that's not a hash key. Better. Backtick. No, that's a slash. Backtick. Slash. Right, those are the maps of the right keys. Okay. Little keyboard problems. I'm not completely happy with the way that the Mac handles alternate keyboards. UK keyboard just doesn't have a decent set of settings, so I have to use Carabiner elements to go and remap the keys and things. Oh, it's very fun. Right, how do I report whether we're successful or not? Oh, I don't remember. It's in here. I don't think there's a fail. There we go. Buffer data failed. Return a bool. So that's the one. Buff win. We'll write state rather than failed, because then I can write OK or failed. Failed is fail, and otherwise we're OK. And then we'll do the same for the indirect buffer as well. Indirect buffering state on indirect data. Okie dokie. Let's have a see whether this works, shall we? I'm not in the right place. Well, where are we? Copy file path, CD to there. There we go. I think we've got loads of bits. We haven't got much changed. Ah, right, just this change. I clearly committed it. Whisker Samu. Let's build the code and see what we get out. Not limits test. Wimp Templates. And the file we're running is, oh, I don't know. Test data templates. Info was the one I was using, and they need to be in Riscos format. Yes, the Riscos format. There we go. See whether that works. Oh. What? Templates. I can't spell. Indirect buffer failed. Interesting. Interesting. Let's just bump that a bit. What do we see here? So we've got indirect text data of minus 120 bytes. That doesn't sound right to me. So what happens here? We start reading the data. We know we've got 9 icons. We've moved to the base, the offset, which is 22C. Icon flags. They look like icon flags to me. Indirect string from offset 180 points to address there. 19 bytes. Empty string. Why would we have an empty string there? This looks like we're not actually reading the data properly here. Yeah, this really looks like we're not reading data properly. Because it read the info identifier there, but then when it looked at this indirect string, it just looks like it's reading rubbish, basically. At offset 1A4. Is that offset from the start of the file or offset from the template? Let's have a look at the code. So reading in, there's all my Python code. Indirect text is of length. We tell it what the length is, and then we tell it what the text is. Okay. Text offset. I think I'm reading it from the wrong place, because this text offset here, it should be offset from the base of the template. LTD, load template data. So when we read that, hang on, what was it doing? Sorry, I've lost it already. String indirect. So I've lost what I was doing. So this is on here. Text offset. From offset, from file offset, base offset plus indirect offset. Fair enough. So let's have a look at the file. What would be easier here would be if we actually just dropped ourselves into DOS. And we can run things. af32.wimptemplates, testdata.templates.info. Yeah, there we go. If we just have a look, do a dump of the file, that file there. So it said it was at 1A4. 1A4 is this string here, which is about this program. So that looks like it should have read it properly. But apparently it's not actually read that text. And we've got fgetc, read a file byte, and has it returned any off? Actually what I could do, yeah, that's what I could do. Turn the debug on. Like, this is a debug system, isn't it? Pyromaniac, yeah, debug. Right, where's the FS ones? FS calls. Just checking that I'm actually speaking and that things are actually coming out. Lost what I was up to. FS stream byte, I think is the one we want. Possibly FOS FS stream byte as well. Let's do os fs string byte first, and then see if we actually get something useful. I don't think that read very much. Didn't look like it had any calls to actually read any data there. Oh, and fs string, so both of those. Let's try that. What? That's telling me we're not reading anything. And oh, because it's probably not reading it in bytes, is it? It's probably just reading it as chunks of memory. And fs stream. Let's try that. Ah, that's more like it. So, what do we have here? This is where we open the file. Open template file, read some data. This bit here doesn't look like we actually read it. So we've read 4K of the data, but we haven't actually done anything. We haven't got any useful data out of it, which is odd. Did we actually seek? Did we get the bytes? Seek. Where's seek here? Hang on. Seek, there we go. Fseek, offset, how. Set, current or end, and file handle, offset. That looks right to me, I think. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. And fseek, confirm it. Stream, offset, whence. So yes, that's correct. So one of my readers has said that their computer's rebooting over and over again and they did a reinstallation. Pass, I do not know. However, if it's a machine you've built, I would suggest maybe checking all of your connections, making sure that all the plugs are plugged in properly, and if you've got any cards in it, try and check that they're plugged in properly, in particularly memory. Would be my thought, but sorry, it could be one of so many things. If you've just done a reinstallation, then probably it's going to be something hardware related, I'm afraid. I suspect anyway. Just check everything's plugged in properly. Run some tests. If you've got, if you can drop into the BIOS and try and check whether the memory's valid or not, that would be good. But beyond that, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. You might need somebody to have a look at it who's a bit closer by. I'm sorry. Sorry, where was I up to? I was trying to see why we're not reading things. Let's print out the bytes that we're reading, shall we? Because then at least it'll tell us what we're getting out. I wonder if we've got an error out of that. We could have got an error out of the seek, couldn't we? Because fseek here returns an int, and I think that returns Go on, where's return value? 0 if successful, -1 if it failed. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do int fail equals that. If fail, actually returning an error code here, we're just returning. Do we have some error codes? If we have some error codes, I could probably actually return them, couldn't I? There we go, EOF or OK. Could return EOF. If return fail, if we failed, return T EOF, otherwise return T OK. At least that'll give me some message about that. And then I wanted to print out what the bytes were that we were reading, didn't I? Yeah, let's just see what that comes out with, shall we? Build. And then, hang on, I've waited for the foreground. Run it. Oh, those look like bytes. 65, that's a capital A. Then 98, then those look like lowercase letters and a space, and then some lowercase letters and a space. So that's definitely getting a string. Interesting. Have I misimplemented buffer things? That'd be weird. So we've actually said here, reading indirect string from there, length is the maximum length, isn't it? Or -1 or any length. And length in there as well. Read a byte. If length is less than wrote, how much we've written, then if it's -1, so if we can write some data. If any was allowed, that seems wrong to me, because that's writing a 0 for anything that's got -1. If length is not equal to -1 and C equals 0 and it's terminated, is not equal to -1. Sorry, I was misreading that. Otherwise we write bytes. 1 byte. Yeah, that looks like it should be doing the right thing. Unless write bytes doesn't work, which is also possible. It says padded by 19 bytes. I wonder if we're not working out lengths right. Let's try again. Build it with the extra debug in. Run it again. I remember last week, or whenever it was I was here last, was it last week? I was feeling very dumb and that maybe I was doing something. Yeah, so the length of my buffer is 19 bytes and we're padding it by 19 bytes. So that means that all of those bytes we've read are going nowhere. This is back to front. If we have written less than the length of the buffer, that's why it's the wrong way around. I'll just swap this one as well so that the two things are the same way around. Oh dear. Less than or equal to again. Yeah, it should have been less than or equal to. Yeah, so that's why it's doing it. It's because it's always only if the buffer would overflow were we writing data, which is silly. 5 and 11. Okay, we'll look at that later. Dum, dum, dum. Oh, look at that. Text about this program. And then we get length minus 120. That's not right. So clearly we've reduced the length by space we didn't mean to. Which is fine. We can fix that as soon as we find out where it is. Where will it be then? Length minus 1, length minus 120. Okay. That's the title, and then this is each individual icon, isn't it? Maybe we should print out processing icon. Here we go. Yeah, we should have handle icon. There we go. We got handle. Load icon. Icon num. There we go. I'll make it a bit clearer what we're trying to do. Seek, read, and then write bytes, and then do the icon data. There's the icon data. So we go to the icon data over here. Icon data. Here's our length. Length equals indirected text size. Okay. Actually do this all from in here. I'll make host command viscous ammo. There we go. Builds it and then run it. Right, so it gets to icon 4, and by the time it gets to icon 4, it seems to think that the length is minus 123. It also seems to think these flags are rubbish here. So I don't think I'm incrementing the icon position very far enough. Something's going wrong with the icon position. Seek to offset. Offset plus equals red, which is the size of a Wimp icon. And then write it in, and then write that in. Huh. Odd. At offset, ampersand %x. Let's just report the offset. And I can see whether I've actually got the right address. It's quite possible I can get rid of that byte debug as well, can't I? At offset AC. Interesting. So the first one, that's the title. That's the title of the window. Let me get rid of this byte, red byte thing. Don't need that. But offset 2C Ooh, oh no, no. Offset 2C. That's wrong. Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong? It's wrong because we've not skipped the actual template itself. Where's offset? Offset equals base offset equals offset. Where's offset set to? Oh no, that looks like open template. Read so many bytes. Seek to offset. Offset here. Start out ourselves as being offset, which is the offset in the index. But it should be set. Offset equals size of the window, which is it's actually Wimp, that thing there. Rebuild. Right, those flags still don't look right, but they look slightly better than they did before. They definitely look better than they did before. Afternoon, Riscos UK, and hello again, Nitrex. Sorry, I hadn't acknowledged you when you'd been cheering at the beginning. Sorry. Offset is the header size. So why is that? So in each of these, it's actually adding 32 each time, which is the right offset size. Just looks like they're coming out with the wrong bytes. Let's have a look at it. Is it possible we've just done something silly here? I don't know. Sorry, my brain is not quite with it. Looking at this now. Offset within the window, which is already offset by base offset. Should be okay. Let's print out what we're seeking to. Oh. See, there we go. Oh, input seek offset equals ampersand x comma now equals percent I. Offset now. Build it. Run it. So it says it's literally offset 58. That's not right because it should be adding on. But it hasn't. But we're not adding on the base offset. We're not adding on the base offset at all. That'll be why it's not working. We're looking in completely the wrong place. Right, let's have a look again. About this program, some validation, what it does. Ooh, look at that. Looks like we've got some strings. Right, let's get rid of the bits we don't need. All the debug I've just put in. So there's the seeking debug. which is not relevant. Let's just get rid of that temporarily. Template seek, processing icon. There with an indent. Indirect text. Some more spaces in that. Sorry, I got myself very confused last week at looking at this, and it was like really not doing great. So hopefully this time we'll be doing it better. Process title icon data. Right. Let's comment that one out for now. Right, so get little bits of debug in this. Build. Run. So we should have things that are looking a little bit better now. Right, I can get rid of this reading indirect string because we don't need that. Reading indirect. Yeah, that's just a little bit too noisy. It's possible I should have multiple levels of debug in this, but it's fine. That looks better to me. So what we got here then is icon 0, some flags. Icon 1, some flags. And padding to 32 bits. Let's just get rid of that message as well. Yeah, we don't need that one. Oh, that's a not even debug one. Not on there. Right, so we'll look at that one. What it does, icon 3, copyright me, validation string, copyright that. And it looks like we've probably got things right. So if we have a look in memory now, file memory I, BDF4, this should be all the strings. Oh, maybe memory, not memory I. Yeah, about this program, what it does. Padded to quite long lengths here because there's some extra space in there, but that looks pretty decent. I think I'm relatively happy with that. And if we have a look at this one, which is the window buffer itself, that looks like bounding box. Not sure that's a scroll offsets or something, I don't know. Colors there, I think that's all colors to there. Yeah, I don't know what the other bits are, I'm afraid. But these definitely look like icon positions because you've got negative values in there. So the height is counting down from the top left corner. So that looks not too bad. Right. So with that in mind, knowing what we've actually got there, we've now handled Wimp icon data. We've handled the case of text and text or sprites. This is a sprite one. This is a string. This is a regular text. Hang on. So, oh, we know this is all inside the indirected handling. So we need to handle the other non-indirected ones. This is all the code that was originally. That's all the code we've got implemented now. And then we write it into the workspace. And if it fails, we say it doesn't, we report it doesn't fit, and we report the size used. Okay. And then we've got the validation as well. Do we handle the validation? Oh, we haven't actually written into the workspace. Sorry, let me go and undo that. So we've done this bit here, which reads the data. But we haven't actually put it into the workspace yet. Here we are. This is where we're up to. So we need to do buffer. We must have done buffer writes. Yes, we did. Write bytes there. validation. Oh, we haven't updated the icon block. That's the difference, isn't it? Yes, we need to actually update the icon block to point to the right place, because otherwise we're just writing the same data that was in the message. So we want to do something like icon data to text. Actually, I don't know what it's got it. You know, actually, what are these structures? Icon data is a Wimp icon data. A Wimp icon data. There we go. So this is an indirect text or indirect text and sprite. We need to update the correct ones here, don't we? Okay. It's an indirected sprite, so it might have a sprite now, a sprite pointer. I'll work that out in a minute. Because the text offset is actually different if it's a text and sprite. Text and sprite is easy. Indirect text is easy. It's the indirect sprite that's different. So it's this case that's the different one. I wonder if we should just handle them entirely separately. No, probably not. Let's copy this one. Oh, I left an extra space in the end. That's normal, yeah, okay. Indirect sprite only. So we need to go indirect. So U, it's all a union. So it's indirect text and then ID area size. Sprite up ID. Is that because it's a pointer? It depends on what the length is. That's why. Ugh, horrible code. I forget how nasty this all is. If text offset equals 0, indirect sprite points to actual sprite. Otherwise, indirect sprite points to the sprite name. That's right, isn't it? So we get the name in there and then the area in here. Yeah, that's right. And then size is the size of the string there. Indirect data. Is that right? Yes, that is right. That's right. Text equals. Sorry, not text. Sorry, I had to copy that string, didn't I? Oh, brain not with it. Indirect sprite dot id equals the text. Let's just cast that to an os sprite op id capital ID, sorry, capital I lowercase d, and icon data to undirected sprite area. We don't know the area yet, so we have to set it to 0. And we do know what the size is because it will be exactly the same. And then if it points to the actual sprite, we don't know what the sprite is going to be, so we'll set that to null there. And the area to be null as well. Yeah, That's better. Else indirect text or indirect text plus sprite. Both of which have the same format in here, which is fortunate. So it's icon data to indirect text and sprite dot text equals text and dot validation equals validation, and then the length will be exactly the same. So that's all we need there, I think, just to update that to point to the right place. Okay, so that's this bit done. And this bit as well, because we write the validation into there as well. Yeah, we've got a note about not supporting fonts. That's rebuilding it back into a structure we can use. And then this is a plain if it's text. Do that. So here we go. Else if icon flags and if it's a text, then we read out 12 bytes that the icon data is actually the icon data is actually the string itself. It's this thing here. So we can do dprintf text, 4 spaces apparently. Okay. Text string in icon 0.12s. What's it called? Sorry, just text. Yeah, that's fair enough. Actually, if it's a sprite, it's exactly the same. Should be right, I think. We don't do the packing stuff. That's the text one. And there we go. We don't have to do anything else with that. That should actually strictly, that should be sprite. Actually, is it sprite? No, it's just there's no dot text on that. It's just dot text. Dot sprite. There we go. Right, build. Don't build. Yeah, 392. It's not great. Let's build it in here and I can get me errors out. Implicit cast of oh no, we did that. Oh, that's because it's a uint 8t. I think. Build. Yeah. Oh, it's not. No, it's an adrity because it has to be a 32-bit address because we have to know that. That's one advantage here, is that if we cast it down like this, we know that we've actually done something to reduce its length. Oh yeah, I forgot bracket. That's a bit bad, isn't it? Oops. Build. Built. Run it. Well, that looks like it's done something. And it might even be right. So, what do we reckon? Do we try it? Should we give it a whirl? What's the worst that can happen? All right, let's give it a whirl. Sorry, not the GOS version, please. Where's GOS? There, GOS. WX. Likelihood of this working is pretty low, but we will see. So here we are. Here's a window. Let's just reduce this down in size a little bit. So run our test. Here's our test. Basic. Wimp open. So create window, isn't it? And the address was C288. Where do we get the handle back? Does it come back into our naught? I think it comes back into our naught. Well, it didn't fail. Wimp open. How do you do open window? I think you have to tell it where to open it, don't you? Get window state. I'll have to put that in somewhere. So 9,000 equals window handle. Get window state 9,000. Well, it hasn't crashed yet. And then we'll do an open window. I got a window on the screen. Yes, it worked. Very good, very good. That's really cute. That worked. I'm really pleased at that, actually. Video 4. Thank you. Get us back to video 4, please. Well, that's really nice, actually. I'm really pleased with that. It's come out in ugly colours, which probably is because we've got an odd mode here. We'll just select mode 28 and then do it again. There we go. That's better, isn't it? We've got some greys there. I like that. Alrighty. There we go, video 4. Apparently it doesn't reset us back to video 4 mode, so we'll just have to tweak that. So this is using the Riscos Pyromaniac window manager, which knows enough to be able to load, to create windows, and when you call open window, it just goes and displays it on the screen. Just because I haven't implemented proper window handling yet. Yes, it is 2025 now, not 1995, but that was when I created the original template. Yeah, that's 30 years ago. At the time, I'm not even sure I could think about 30 years in the future. That's really weird. But one of the other things that's interesting about this is we've actually got, there's multiple templates in there, isn't there? So we could actually load one of the other templates. Let me just go and have a look in that templates directory. Yeah, templates directory. What have we got in there? We've got a true color one, we've got a palette, and we've got one that tests clipping. Let's try the palette. I think the palette's probably a pretty one. Lots and lots of icons. Yeah, fair enough. Ooh, window buffering state failed. Space needed 1304, and we've only allocated 1024. So let's just get us into here and bump these up a bit. 4K for both of them. There we go. Rebuild rebuilds, thank you. And then we can load it again. Oh, that's taking a while. Why is that taking a while? That's interesting, isn't it? I wonder if it was taking a while because the window wasn't visible. That'd be really weird, wouldn't it? Don't know. Right, so we drop into basic, don't we? Basic, and then we call create window. Create window. There we go. At window buffer is at DE44. DE44, and then we call open window. Get window state first. Get window state, and then open window. Well, that appears to have worked as well, which is quite pleasing. Okay. So, you know, having got that working, it's great working. Let's go and commit some code. Yeah, git commit. I can do it in here. It's actually git status. Do we have any new files that I've added? Commit as a oops. What am I doing? I am fix for the template indirect text not loading. Indirected text is now loading, and we can use the windows that are created. So full stop. Missing bits. Front handling. Any failures are not reported well. Lots of debug present. Yeah, we'll say that for now, and then we'll move on. So let's go git push. Oh, what? Loading templates has no upstream branch. Did I not push it before? That's the wrong module. That's this one. Pure branches. Loading templates. There. Git push minus. Let's jump out. Git push. It has got an upstream there. So why did that work in the shell and not work in Viscos? I'm not sure why that was. There may be a bug in my implementation of Git on there, or the translation layer anyway. Not quite sure what that would actually, why it would be wrong though. Anyway, yeah, so that's now there. Ooh, and one interesting thing to spot is we've got checks have failed on that, which means that it's not passed its tests. Yeah, it's not passing its tests. Why isn't it passing its tests? Because we can't have it failing tests. Hello, Sunday Art. Oh, apparently I haven't linked in buffer data. That's a bit silly. Let's go see if we can link that in then. Make file here. as it, but the module doesn't. That's what it is. It's actually the. I didn't realise I should be paying. Yeah, it's the module that's not working. So o.buffer data there. Spaces. Spaces, please. Mixing spaces and tabs is not a very useful idea here, is it? Spaces, there we go. So it's a little neater. Right, so in which case, let's build that. Make file module. Yeah, the module's built. Cool. Whilst we're, let's have a quick look at that. No, let's commit that. Oh no, I'll just update it in the last change. Yeah, there we go. Now it should build. Push. Oh, push forcing, please. Interesting. It's interesting, it's not doing the same thing. Let's have a look at their actions. Tests here. Tests are working. Built the module and it built the artifacts. Lovely. Got an set of artifacts out of it. Wonderful. Right, what was I just about to... I was going to look at that 488 address. Line 488. Size declared but not used. No, we never actually check whether the size of this particular template is valid or not. That's something we could do. Okay. So I think I'm going to go and take a short break. Get myself some more drink, pop some loo and things, and then we'll come back and we'll do a bit more because finally that appears to be doing something useful, which is always good. And I think we've got some more code in the Python that we can have a pinch of and make it work. Because strictly, if we have a look at the things that are needed here, we've got reading template from template file. I think we can say that's done without the exception of font handling. So we've not done this bit yet. We have handled an indirect text as well. We haven't done sizing and we haven't done enumeration or non-template data yet. And I'm going to have to add templates in as well. So little bits of interesting things there, but this is progress. Okay, so quick break. Well, hopefully quick break, 10 minutes I expect, and then we'll be back and we'll have a look at the next bit. All right, see you in a mo. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry that took a little bit longer than I intended because I was chatting. Oh, I do need to clean these. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'll be why my head hurts. Right. So, yes, welcome back. Or welcome back to me, I suppose. Oh, I've got the ring on. There we go. So where are we up to? We've had most of the template starting to read now, which is good. Yeah. Clean glasses, don't clean eyes. I've done that before and that was surprising. Start rubbing these on your eyes and you're going, no, that's not what I meant to do. Doesn't work that way. They're alcoholic ones, so doing it on eyes is surprising. You definitely do exclaim in surprised manner when you do that. Right, so we have templates loaded. We've got the icon data in there. So what I wanted to do was have a look at Pyromaniac and see what other bits it's got in there. And I think actually if I've got here's the code here, yeah. So here's the template code. So go away. Right, so it has some template searching stuff. It just uses the FN match. So we're going to want some wildcard code. We can do that. That's not a big deal. I'll grab that shortly. This is the template handling. Fix of icon is the one that effectively does the managing of the icon data. And actually that looks like it's pretty much all it needs. Updating icons, update the user blocks. That actually writes the data into memory. And then we return some data. So it's very similar to what we've got here. I think we are looking good. Yes, we need to have the wildcard handling. Let's do wildcard handling now, and then we can see whether that will do the right things. So hash and star is the things we're using for that, and we have wildcard handling in message trans, system variables, something else. But we did system variables not so long ago. Nose is still itchy. So let's have a look at system variables, shall we? /system vars. So here in system vars we've got wildcards matching for system variables, and yep, control character terminated, lowercase using simple ASCII, which is pretty much what we want to do. Yeah, that's it. So we can pinch that code then. Let us do that. Bounce that window to the right, bounce this window to the left. So this is system vars, this is not system vars. Wimp templates, in fact. Wildcard. Copy. Paste. I might as well change the names, right? Into Wimp Templates. Ooh, we can probably change the date. Yeah, we'll change the date. 25 November. What's the date today? 23rd. 23rd of November. Time keeps slipping away. And here's the header file, which is very similar. Wildcard. I'll just pinch the header we had there. Yes, I'm going to have to rename the. Oh no, that's not the one. This one. There we are. Right, so I'm going to need to change the names of the file names and things, but that's now done with, so we don't need that anymore. So this is for Wimp Templates. So Wimp Templates. Is it case insensitive? I can't remember. If it's not case insensitive, then that's not it. No, that's not it. That's pyramic event. That's fine. Huh, where's the documentation? Viscos PRM URL Wimp load templates. Wildcarded name is overwritten by the actual one found. It must be reinitialized for every call. Okay. Huh. Well, it's not saying that it's sensitive or not. Templates. Up. No. Give me an identifier, not necessarily the same as the window title. So, okay, does anybody else know whether template names are case sensitive or not? Because in, oh, where's it gone? Where's the Python code gone? I've lost the Python code. There it is. In here, find template, oops, I've shrunk it, is calling FN match, which is case sensitive. So looks like it probably is case sensitive. Yeah. If it is case sensitive, then I can drop that code from there. What are we doing at the moment? Find identifier is the one we want. Yeah, it's doing case sensitive. Let's have a look at the implementation, shall we? Wimp, oh, it's actually called Wimp, it's C/Wimp, Wimp even, haven't got it. I'll find the source in here, it'll be quicker. Modules, Viscos source printing desktop, Wimp, that's better. In the S, yeah, now where do we think loading templates would be? Which file is clearly the one that implements that? Stupid blooming thing. I never got round to renaming all these. 6, how about that? I am so sad. I genuinely didn't know that. I was just guessing. It just happened that I guessed completely right. Oh dear gosh. Make the file header, close templates, come on. Load templates, here we go. So where were we looking for the names? It was wildcarded. Match names is what we're calling. Find match names. equate case. What? If it's a hash, then it's wildcarded, EQ is set. If it's not, then exclusive OR it, and then... Yeah, so it's case insensitive, because that is ignoring the 32. It's actually case insensitive, and some of the other characters will also be case insensitive, even though they're not ASCII. That's not right. That's a bit of a... That's really quite poor. But knowing that, I can at least be sure what the Wimp does. Excuse me. So in Viscous Pyromaniac, I don't support case insensitivity, apparently, and I haven't actually seen any problems yet. That's quite interesting, really. But what I'll do is I'll leave a note to say we should be case insensitive according to whatever function that was. Hang on, let me find it again. Match names in Wimp 06. So let's do the find identifier. There we go. In Wimp 06 / Wimp 06 match names, the comparison appears to be just hang on a second. Hello, I'm back. Yeah, so I'm in the process of leaving a note to say that we're to be case insensitive. Matches are with the EQ state after a hash. Check. And uses a shortcut with just and df to ignore the case and some non-alphabetic. So it probably also means that a template named 1 will actually match exclamation mark, I think. Let's just quickly do a quick check on that. So if I do ord of 1 and df and ord of exclamation mark, no, that's wrong. This is C code. This is all C code here. The code you saw before, that was assembler, and the code that's in here is all in Python. Because we mix our languages here, it's great fun. So that's why you might be getting a bit confused. There's the Python code that's in Pyromaniac, and then there's the C code, which is what I'm implementing things in. Just a quick background. So all of the original code was in assembler, ARM assembler. So you're down there when I'm looking at the chat. So all the original code is in ARM assembler. That's all pretty bad. So we're starting to rewrite it in C. That's what I'm trying to do here. But in the meantime, I've also implemented the same thing that the assembler did in Python, so I could have another reference implementation to work from. So I've now got assembler version, a Python version, and I'm working on a C version. And the idea is that they give me a better view on how things work. Does that? I hope that makes sense. That was from Meraki Macquarie Necale. That's quite cool. It runs off the tongue there, if you can eventually say it. But yeah, anyway, that's what the different languages are, and I'm just jumping into Python to check things. I've got the wrong things there. Wasn't one and exclamation mark aren't the same thing, because one is 48, 49, sorry. Exclamation mark is 33. Yes, that would be okay, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't know, but something like square bracket there. DF. I did or 32, and then sure 1, 2, 3. So square bracket and squiggly bracket would probably come up the same. They said it's not an English name, don't worry. I appreciate it. I'm really glad you haven't been offended by my mispronouncing your name. It's fine. I feel bad for butchering people's names, and I apologise, but I'm glad you're not too concerned. Anyway, yes. So that's what's gone wrong there. So, for example, bracket and bracket will be identical. Okay. So that's how it's currently implemented in the assembler version, and probably somebody will have relied on that, so it probably does need implementing that way. But right now I'm just going to implement it as insensitive, so we probably need to put a strip icump there, and we'll now implement that. So rather than a fix me, I'll make it a note because I'm going to implement it. Strip cump and then strip icump, please. Insensitive. There we go. I could just do it the way the Wimp needs me to do it. I could just do that, couldn't I? Templates. There we go. So Wimp template matching uses and df to compare clear bit 5. C1 equals C1 and OXDF. C2 equals C2. That's so terrible. Because I could even rename this specially for templates. Yes, we'll name it specially for templates. Because then we don't get confused when we start, if we end up reusing this. Okay, put this into the header file. I'm just using WT just to make it different but not stupidly long. And then we need to, where we were looking in the templates code, we need to make it use that. Right, the other thing is we want to be able to check this. So that's checking explicitly, which is good. Otherwise, let's see if we can... I really want to check whether it's got a wildcard in it and then go to the wildcard routine. Or we could always go to the wildcard routine. Oops, forgot to rename that one. Wimp Templates. We can always go to the wildcard routine. We're not going to be using it very often. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So, although I've just implemented it here, and it's not bad to have this here, we can do the same here with these. W, S, S, W. There we go. Actually, yeah, that shouldn't be there. It should be down here, shouldn't it? And that needs to change to be Wimp Template. Should I just use WT? I use WT in the, yeah. Let's try and play some consistency here. WT. Oops. I think I've actually got MT for message trans elsewhere, so I'm going to be just fine with this. In the future, I may curse past me, but that's just the way it goes. There we go. Oh, let's give me the proper name now, because I haven't been Justin Fletcher for quite some years. I haven't been Gerph at all, but Justin Fletcher is no longer my name, so let's do that. All right, so there we go. The template's now. Did I mistype that? Terminated with an oh. Where did I miss that? Which file was that in? Not there. Not there. Previous file. In templates. Not that one. There, line 23. 23? 23. In the header declaration. Oh, header declaration in here. Previous. Am I blind? WT, wild match. Oh, L! Sorry, I see it now. Thank you, people. You did say line 23, I know. There's a little bit of lag between what I do and seeing what you say, and then a little bit of lag between me realizing what you're saying. And then there's the dumb part of my brain as well. Thank you very much. Oh, it come up when I compiled it at least. Right. Yeah. So what I thought was find identifier. So this is why it's useful having people spotting things. They can look at it and they go, "You've done it wrong. You've done it wrong. You're stupid. You can't understand what we're saying." If def support wildcards, else, and if we support wildcards, we'll make this as a wild match. Oh, and the one we pass in is the wildcarded one. So let's just swap those around. Actually, if we swap them around, we might as well swap them around on both of them, because then it looks the same. There we go. So, and then we'll define that. So if the reason I want to, I like to have some options like that sometimes is because if I screw up the wildcards, I can just turn it off and then see that it's still working. Whether wildcards are supported by identifier lookups. Okay, so let's. Oh, I've just closed the terminal without meaning to. Close that. There we go, back again. Right, so I need to make sure that the make file includes wildcards. Spaces, please. And actually, if I'm doing it there, this time I'll remember to put it into the module as well. And then we should be able to build that. Oh, not there, please. Yeah, build that, please. Okay. Yeah, you have to include the header, you silly person. Include wildcard. There we are. Now, CS string wouldn't. Oh, yeah, because it's not CS string for these, it's a control string. Because it's not terminated by a space. Riscos, it's got absolutely insane conventions all over the place. I mean, I could fix these things and just make them use one standard form of string, but then half the things wouldn't work. And I'd probably go insane. Right, there we go. Let's have a see if that builds now. Oh, it did. It did build. Awesome. So if that builds, let's... No. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to get me a bare terminal right now. Change any byte of Riscos and break 43 of Nemo's hacks. Well, probably. That almost certainly is a danger with these things. Right, so let's load the palette. Palette's got 1, 2, 3 different templates in there. How do I test this? Do we have the... Ah, we're always loading the first template. So I want to be able to look it up by name. So if we put a name here, a template name. Char template name. If argc is greater than 2, that's right, yeah. Template name equals argv bracket 2. Probably set it null. There. Right, and then what we can do is we can do the identifier lookup here equals templates find identifier in the open template for template name, but only do that template num equals naught, and we'll put template num into there. Carrying template number %i template num. If t ooh, we should probably stop then, shouldn't we? If there's an error, we shouldn't continue. I don't know. But the find identifier, we definitely should stop. Error finding identifier since S. Template name and TR. Mistyped that. Exit. I've got a capital F there as well. What's with the capital letters turning up all over the place? My fingers are just weird. I'm not sure that's right. Is that actually the syntax I use? Because I need to know what the number was. Find identifier. Oh, we return -1 if it's invalid. Okay, well that's not too bad. So actually we just return template num. Template num is -1. Error find, we can't print out an error number, and that would just be can't find template, I suppose. And that's it, I think. Yeah, it looks like that's it. So build that. Oh, arg, see. Oh, fingers, you're not doing what I want you to do. Or possibly brain not doing what I want it to do. Right, let's try this. So now we want to load, which one do we want to load? Let's say we want to load red BG. So let's look for R star. Actually, let's just do red BG and see that it finds it. Opening read header. Oh, I didn't actually print anything out, but it also says black background there, so it doesn't look like it's actually updated it. That's a pity. Finding template. Template name. Template number. There we go. Right, build that. And then run it. Finding template red BG, template number 0. That doesn't seem right to me. I think I may have made a mistake. Templates. Find identifier. It's saying it matches. Either that or wildcard doesn't work. How does wildcard work? It returns 1 if matched and 0 if no match. One if matched. I've got nice consistent uses here then. Why have I got single quotes around that? Did I? Oh, Riscos doesn't use single quotes, does it? Find template red background, template number 2, title red background. So if we can actually check this. Let's put it into the WX version. We can actually see it. There we go. Oh, double minus, sorry. There it is, bottom of the screen. Here you go. There's the window. So, templates red background, yep. What was the other one called? That was the red background one. The other one's called grey background. Okay, so basic. Where's my create window thing gone? create window, address EO2C, and then get window state, and then open a window. Oh, actually, can we just do mode 28 first? Ooh! It's quite pretty, actually, isn't it? Yeah, so that's loaded it properly. And it did load the correct one. So, now let's try the wildcard part. Leave basic and R star. No. Well, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? It couldn't find it. Why couldn't it find? Did I actually pass them around the wrong way? Wildcard is the left-hand side. String is the right. Did I pass them around the wrong way? Surely not. Template name there. That's finding template with the R star on it, yeah. And then in templates, find identifier. Control is the wildcarded one. Support wildcards. Controls the wildcard, otherwise it's the identifier. Support wildcards. I mean, it's possible that my wildcard routine doesn't work. I mean, it's possible I've just made a mess of it. Let's turn it on. Debug on there. Hey. Compare empty against E. Ooh. What? I mean, that. It's as if it's got a new line there. I've used this wildcard routine quite a bit, so I'm a little surprised it's coming out wrong. I think this code here is not correct. I think that's what's wrong here. W, comma. W is greater than or equal to 32, question mark. W, otherwise. S, comma. S is greater than or equal to 32, question mark. S, colon, question mark. Okay. Rebuild. Oh, too many S's in there, sorry. Wimp. Now what's it warning about? Warning requires in, but it's unsigned. Oh, it's fine, doesn't matter. $10. See, E is the 5th character, so it's not that. See you later, Alan. Hope you have a good afternoon. Hopefully I'll actually get somewhere with this and we'll have something sorted. I may just change this to be a more sane comparison because I'm a little bit confused about it. Yeah, we'll do it like this. I mean, it's not doing the same thing, but just because that's not doing the right thing and I'm not sure why. My brain isn't quite with it. Somebody else can work out what's going wrong at a later date, I think. Yeah. See, now it works. Clearly what I had before was wrong. How strange. I'm a little confused by that, but I'm sure it would make sense in the future. It's interesting that when the window isn't at the front, it takes a really long time for it to do updates. I wonder if I've is that also true if it's half? So I'll do it on here. Is it true if it's only half on the screen? No, nice and fast. Quite fast still. Still fast. Still fast. Something is odd about how I'm using WX widgets and I'm not getting notifications through in a timely manner and things. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I'm not going to worry too much, but something odd. You could use his upper. I could, but if I use his upper, then it goes through the character tables for the current locale. And if I use the current locale, then we potentially get some weirdness about it. Because something like egrav might come out as being a match for something that isn't. And depending on what the user's got selected as their locale, you get different templates loaded and some things failing. So that's why I didn't want to go that way. So when I say current locale, I obviously mean, I do mean current territory that's been selected, which is where the locale comes from. Yeah, that's the reason that I avoided doing that. Right. So we've now got wildcards that work. We have wildcards that work. So let's actually add c/wild h/wild diff. Yep, it's just the wildcards we've added. Oh, and I need to add it to the module, don't I? Otherwise we get a break Oh, I did add it to the module, didn't I? Commit -a. Add support for wildcarded identifiers. Identifiers for the templates are now able to be wildcarded and are case insensitive using ASCII comparison. Okay. If it turns out that that's wrong, then it's only a change of the wildcard code. It's nothing else. So it's a lot safer. Let's push that. Pushed. Okay, that's good. I've just twigged why the git push didn't work in the same way on Riscos as it did on my host system. I believe the reason is something to do with my git config. So if I look for push, default equals current branch, that is not the default. The default is everything, I think. And that's because we don't populate the git config directly into there. It wouldn't do the right thing, don't do the same thing. Maybe I should, I'm not really sure. Anyway, we now have wildcards working. Yeah, so I have wildcards working. Let me have a look at my notes here. So we've got handling wildcards, yes. Reading templates, yes. Not sizing yet, not enumerating, and not the reading empty things, and not. We have handled indirected text, so let's pop that up. Status. There we are. Here's the status page. We can update it now. So we go into status. Oh, not status, no, features. Oh, let's just search for the file name. Wimp template. Sorry, window template, sorry. Window manager templates, that's the one. Right, we do handle wildcards now. We can read the template. And we handle indirected text. So that's all nicely done there. I'll leave that there for a second. We're at least up to date. I'm just going to go and pop to the loo and then I'll be back in a second. Well, maybe not a second. Hello again. Right, so yeah, I've updated the status pages and we've now implemented wildcards. So I want to try and start wiring this up to the module and see if we can actually get the module swise working in a sensible way. So module here. Open template. If we couldn't open it, we should return an error. Well, that makes sense, yeah. I wonder what error we should return. Let's have a see. Viscous kitten. Errors. Yeah, there we go. Oop. Lost the bottom of that window. Lost the bottom of that window. Grep for template. No template file, bad template file, no template, or templatey off. Fair enough. So, one of the difficult things with this is it doesn't actually show us what the errors are. So you can't see what numbers they are. So I do c::viscos.h.new errors. There we go. I've got some numbers now. That's a bit more useful. And since they are in there, we can use them. So we'll just return wimp no template file. No template file. For that one, and then we can go and add them into here. So we do hash include viscos/h/new errors. Oh, sorry, no, viscos/new errors.h. Random conversions of file name formats there. And then where's our error identifiers? Here we go. So what was that? That was wimp no template file is error number wimp no template file not found. And what I try to do with these errors is to give them a token prefix on them so that it's clearer what we're doing. And whilst we're at it, let's do the other ones as well. So we've got, yeah, we'll do it this way. Bad template. So that's if we've checked, we've got it, its format is wrong. Or something similar. Bad template. Invalid. Ooh, that looks untidy. Having file not found is, yeah, there we go. Change that. No template. Template entry not found. Not found. And then EOF, which I think we return a lot of EOF errors. Template EOF. There we go. And oddly, the error message for that is template EOF, not Wimp Template EOF, because consistency. Template file truncated. Okay, no comma on the end of that. So now we should be able to start returning those. DDT ones and then a filer. Yeah, don't care about that. Right, so that we've got some errors we can return there from the module. Template file. Closed templates doesn't return anything, no errors from that. load temp. Now here's the one that we've got to like mess around with. Oh, look at that, we've not even implemented it. Well, that's going to make it a bit easier for us to start doing something with, I suppose. Actually, the code we're wanting to use is largely this lot. Just set up for Riscos. So let's have a look. We know the template name. So the name is there. I'll actually call that template name there, because then it matches up with this. We'll keep the template number because that's useful. We want to know the template error. The window and indirect data are these two here, so we can get rid of that. We want to keep our buffers. And the buffers here are from data, and the size of it is end minus data. But actually, if data equals null, I've seen this done before, and I'm just going to make it consistent. If you get specified null, you got 0 size. And the same goes for the, where's the window points? Oh, do we not say how big the window is? That's interesting, isn't it? So this one here is the data. And this one, window is null. Then oh, I got them around the wrong way. Oops. Hello, Arctic. And if the window data is just any old length, does my buffer data support specifying -1 to mean any length? I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. So, oops. I need to just give this a very big value in the module. So Arctic's working on his compiler and assembler in Python. I think he's been working on that for a little while. He mentioned it a few weeks back. So that sounds kind of fun. Large window buffer, let's just set this as being, oops, a large value as no end is specified in the API, because we're good like that. Ah, you're doing another one. Sorry, it's like, Arctic said that he was for the Pico. Now he's working on x86, x64, AMD 64, whatever you want to call that thing. So what we got here, this is where we find the template. I can use debug as well in this. Debug, find template, the template name, find the template number. If it fails, we can return the error wimp no template to say we didn't find it. Print out what template number we got. Then we read the template with that data. Okay, we are implemented now. And the used data is going to be, hang on, I need to think on this. So used is the size of the window buffer that we've got. I need to look at the implementation. Arctic says, well, he did write it and then he put it in the trash, deleted it, and now has to make another one. I think we've all done that and felt very silly and gone, oh, bother. It's easy to do. I've formatted over disks when I meant to format the second disk, and I formatted the first disk, my main boot disk. That makes you curse a little. Yes, and this goes for everybody. Having backups is really, really useful. It means that at least when you screw up, you've got something to go back to. And I recommend having multiple levels of backup. So having a backup maybe on system, and then maybe in the cloud, or maybe on a physical device. That really helps. And I will tell you a very, very quick story. A little while back, I had some problem with my Git server. So I run my own Git server, I run GitLab, and I have it set up with 3 levels of backup. I have a backup to the local drive. I have a backup to the cloud in one area, and then I have a backup that's so that's compressed and stores things, and then I have a backup of everything that also goes to the cloud but stores it in raw data. And when I came to need to restore it because the disk had failed, the backup on the same disk obviously was gone as well, so that was useless. The backup that was compressed had actually been writing a compressed 0-byte file continually for the last 6 months. So that was broken. But the backup that backed up everything raw was fine, and I could restore it from. So check your backups work. Don't always back up to the same system. Backup to the same system only helps you with the, oh, I deleted that, I didn't mean to do that. That only helps you with that case. But backing up to the cloud and backing up multiple times is useful, because I would have lost, I think I've got about 1,000, maybe 2,000 repositories I have on my server. So I would have been very, very sad if I had lost that. So I have multiple backups now. I also try and check them every so often to make sure that they're working because that 0-byte backup was really useless. I was like, oh, that hasn't been happening. That's good. And I'll tell you a small other story, just because I love stories. Back when I used to work at a larger company, we were using Perforce, and we had a backup that ran to a server regularly, and we had a replica that was running. So the idea being, should our main server die, we can flip over to using the replica really quickly. That was the idea. And I came to do something with it, and oh no, somebody came and reported a problem. They couldn't access certain files, and I tried working out what was wrong with it. And I was like, oh, there's serious errors in the server log. What's going on? Oh dear. Oops. I better go fix that. Let's switch over to the replica. Switch to the replica. Replica's failed in exactly the same way. It's replicated the problem all the way to the replica, so it's just as broken. Right, okay, let's try restoring a backup. I tried restoring the backup. The backup was, we keep 2 weeks worth of backups for every day. And the problem had occurred more than 2 weeks ago, and so we had a backup of broken disks or a broken repository, and so there was nothing I could do. I had to basically stand up in front of the engineering group and say, I'm sorry, I'm taking away your source control. I don't know when it's going to be back. Do something else. And the engineering group was like, oh, but we can't cope without that. And like, yeah, you can do designs, you can do presentations, you can do work, you can do a bunch of things. You're all fine. And they went, yeah, actually we can. It's fine. And we had 3 sites. We had the Cambridge site, the Madrid site, and the Chennai site. So we had a lot of people basically just like doing other things. And then I sat on a phone to Perforce support for about 8 hours. I think I did like 4 hours that evening, until their local office left. And I thought, well, I could stay online with their US office, but I thought I'll just leave it because I need to go to bed. I'm tired now. And then I'll go home and get food, really, not bed. But then I came back the next day and I did some more, and then we got it back. Turns out Perforce database files are actually just plain text, and you can edit them in a plain text editor. I edited it and fixed it in VI, which was not fun. But as Dave says, multiple backups, different places. He says there's a strategy called 3-2-1 backups, 3 copies, 2 devices, 1 offsite. That is basically the best way of doing it, yes. And test them and make sure they are actually working, because if you don't do that, it's silly. I mean, in the case of the Perforce backup, it hadn't just failed, it had actually reported that it had failed, and the backup trigger hadn't passed it back to say there's an email or anything to say it's broken. That was on me. That was stupid. But these things happen. And it wasn't like it was just me, because other people had reviewed that code. Other people had worked with it over time and still got it broken. Anyway, backups are good. And that's not to say, Arctic, that you made a mistake or anything. You shouldn't have done stuff. I'm trying to give examples of things that I've screwed up in the past. We all make dumb mistakes. And then we realise how dumb we are. Okay. I am trying to look at what's gone on here. So, yeah, in this case, so less than or equal than 0 also means find the size of the template. Oh dear, that's nasty. So I'm actually going to only check for -1 there, because if I check for less than 0, then actually you can't have that data in the in high memory, which would be silly. So let's just do that. So we'll make this the checks here. So if window equals let me do this, what should we call it? Read size. Fine, read size to be OX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. Unsigned long. So, not equals, so equals null. So that will then mean that we get that same. And I think the same is also true for the workspace as well. Might not be, but we'll do it anyway. If data read size data equals null as well. And then that will then catch this case where the null, we check the null, and so we pass the 0 bytes into it. Okay. We will probably also do or end minus data equals 0. And then we just have one condition to check then. That'll make things easier. All right. We're not supporting this yet. 0 for no fonts. Sorry, -1 for no fonts. It's a pointer. Why would you use -1? It's just ugly. If font ref equals reads no fonts, on ref equals null. Horrible interface. Right, and then we've also got the search point position to search from. We don't currently support that. We'll skip the enumeration part at the moment. We're just looking at getting the rest of the interface correct. So R0 is always corrupted. R1 is preserved, or the required size of the buffer if it's less than or equal to 0. Okay. So if window, if they asked us what the size was, then regs to R1 equals the required size, which is buffer data required. Okay, that's that one done. That's that implementation done there. R2 equals the pointer to the remaining space or the required size of the workspace if it's less than 1. So what we'll do is we'll do this for both of them. Regs to R2, buffer data required, indirected. I think R2 is the required size, not the R3. Such a weird interface. Not going to worry. Pointer to the remaining workspace otherwise. So otherwise, regs to R2, buffer data to remaining workspace. That's the pointer to the end of the buffer then. Let's just check how that works, what we're doing here. Records end, remaining space required. So it looks like it should be required. So the base of the buffer plus the required space. Can do that. Buff end. Okay, and that is the, sorry, which one was it? Data. And that needs to be a cast to be an int. Okay. 3 and 4 are preserved. R5 points to the actual name. I believe it says that it's overwritten, isn't it? R5. Where's R5 gone? As the wildcard name is overwritten by the actual one found, it must be reinitialized before every call and must be big enough to have the template name written into it. So we write into that buffer. And I guess we always do that. But it does say if it's wildcarded. It does say only if it's wildcarded. No, it doesn't say if it's wildcard. It says the wildcarded name is overwritten. That is the wildcard name. So yeah, we just need to copy it. Which means I need to know what the name is. Oh, I don't think I've got an interface to identify it, turn an identifier into a name. Do we have an index into an identifier? Let's go look for that, shall we? In templates, find identifier. Yeah, I'm going to need to have a new function, index to name. Convert a template index into a template name. Index of equals template number. Defined returns pointer to the template identifier for null if invalid. And we'll do that as a index. And this can be a char star because we've already terminated the names that we copied, which is good. So let's now go and implement that. Whee, down here. This one here, please. No, not this one. Where's the one? Where's the identifier search? There's the identifier search. There we go. So if index is less than 0 or index is greater than open template number of entries, not found. There isn't any template index. And then we just return OT to entries bracket index dot identifier. I think that's it. I'm glad that was quite easy. I'm surprised that was quite easy. Yeah, that's right, I think. Good. Oh, except it's not called find identifier. Oh, it's called index to name. Which means I didn't change it in the header either. Go back to the header. Yeah, here I didn't change it. Oops, in fact I copied too much. Right, there we go. So we now got that one, which means that we can do that over in the module. Templates index to name. Template, oh, actual name, there we go, actual name equals, it's not block. I should have returned it as a const char star because it doesn't belong to them. I don't want them overwriting it. Const char star actual name equals index to name for open template num. We know that that must be valid because we looked it up there. We wouldn't have got this far if we didn't. So we should be able to do struct copy to template name. So Arctic says he was trying to create his own low-law language, wasn't happy, made his own assembler, wasn't happy, deleted it, and then tried to make his own binary, and then that didn't work. You got cross and you rage quit. Yeah, done that in the past. Calming and being sensible. Often you can come back to things and realise that some of it is retrievable. But I do feel for you a little bit there. That's quite frustrating. Copy the template name from the actual name. There we go. Hopefully that'll do the job. Buffering states. Let's put all these into debug so that we're only going to get them some of the time. So we've done that, we've done that, we've done that. We haven't updated context in R6. So reg to R bracket 6 should be the template number that was read. Yes, you should. So he says, Arctic said that next time, if you think it's bad or not worth it, he would save it and not delete. Yes, yeah, it helps. It also helps to realise that sometimes when you think I'm doing it wrong, you've actually done it right, and then you had to go back and redo all the things that you thought you'd done wrong, which is exceptionally irritating sometimes. But that's life. Right, output registers we've now set up separately. I have no idea if this is going to work. Let's have a see. I don't think this is going to work much actually at all. Makefile module. There we go. All right, what's it called then? Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. Try again. Viscos. Ammo. There we go. That's the one I wanted. Yeah, that didn't work. Didn't work in the slightest. Inventing window. What the 164? What have we done here? Oh, we haven't included the types. Hash include types.h. We also need to include buffer data as well. Oh no, I don't want to build that way. I want to build it this way. Comparison of equals a pointer and int. Literal 0 is the only place. Yeah, okay, 182. Oh, okay. Then we want to cast that to a Wimp window. Oh, I might cast it to a void star. And no fonts. I'll cast this to a void star as well. So the other thing about this is if somebody sees something and they find that this code is not very good, they can always go and put up a nice PR for me and tell me where I've gone wrong. That's because these two are using different types. I don't know why they end up using different types there. That's kind of weird. I suspect it was just a oddity of how I converted it, because my oslib handler isn't perfect, obviously. Right, implicit cast 189. Yeah, so there we can just cast this to a int 8. Actually, if that's wrong, oh, yeah. What does buffering it actually take? A uint 8 star. That should be okay. Oh no, that isn't a uint 8. There we go. Oh, press the wrong button again. Right, str copy. I forgot to include string in this. That's fine. 1224. Where's that? Ah, yeah, these buffers aren't actually, well, they're window and data. Is that one there? Okay. Build that. template number 227. Oh, it's template num, isn't it? And then context is declared but not used, which is correct because I haven't actually added that code yet. Okay. Do we have a little basic program to test this? No, we don't. Let's create a little basic program that tests this. Test load template, comma fd1. Test load template. Test that the dummy module loading template loading works. Okay. Dim win 4096, dim indirected 4096, Wimp templates, open template, test data dot templates dot info, Wimp template, Wimp template, load template. Right, let me just copy this so I can window indirected data. End of the indirected data is ind plus 4096. Font array is -1. Wildcarded name to search for. Anything. Oh, except that buffer's overwritten, so I can't do that. Name, temp name, $bracket temp name equals star. There we go. Dim temp name 12. I'm not actually sure that that is right, but we'll move on. We'll move on. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, I've got this wrong. 0. Ah, 0 is not right. 0 is nothing. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Search from is 0. Right, and then 2. Comma. Rec win. Rec ind end, actual name, and then position of the next entry, so next. Okay, so print required space is rec win. And end. Luis David Trejo Royas said it's hard to find someone that actually codes. No cursor, no Claude, just straight sitting and writing code. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm very, very old school in that. I have a couple of weeks ago, people were asking whether I've tried using AI and things, and I'm just not feeling up to it. I use it a lot more at work when I'm writing SQL, and that helps me a huge amount there. But I don't really do that. So I hope you find this interesting. I mean, it's a bit more tedious, but at least it's something. Lewis says they code manually as well, which is good. I'm glad people actually do still code that way. I find that actually writing code yourself means you at least understand what you're trying to do, but I do appreciate the massive benefits you get from being able to do things in AI and having lots of auto-completion stuff. I have auto-completion which completes names, and that's it. I just haven't really got to grips with much else. Right. Let's give this a whirl, shall we? Load, test, load, template. Okay, run. Oh yeah, you need to load the module. That's load module RM32 RM32 Wimp Templates. There we go. Try again. Test, load, template. Oh. All right, what did I actually call the SWI calls? Wimp Templates with an S. Okay, I can't type, so let's just put an S on the end of that. There we are. And we'll do it again. Ooh, look at that. We appear to have a thing. What would be nice now is, so that's it loaded, and it hasn't actually, I haven't run the program, have I? That's why. There we go, it's loaded things. That looks like it's loaded a template, and then it crashed. Ooh, it crashed badly. Read of address -1. Why did we read address -1, do you think? What do we think we did wrong here? So we need to 0, 1. Oh dear, no. I missed a comma there. There's one register missing. That should be, let me just label that as R3, R4. So that makes it clear. There we go. Oh, now we've got the whole window running slowly thing. Yeah, that looks like it loaded it. So we'll do a normal thing of Wimp create window for the window we just loaded, to window handle. Then we need to do a call Wimp get window state, so we know where it's positioned. And then we can call, oops, oh, okay, I didn't mean to do that. Wimp open window, and we'll be able to see what it looks like. So, do it again. Come on. Okay, why did that not open the window? Why did that not do anything? Should have done. Create window. Dot handle. Handle. Get window state. Open window. Opened. Try it again. Well, it didn't work. Why do we think that didn't work? That's kind of odd. Because it was working earlier. When I did it by hand, it was all okay. Actually, that's required space slash. Oh, hang on, shouldn't that be slash pointer? and this is indirect end. So the end, so we've got, easy to see on this one, isn't it? Indirect end was A24. It was originally A1A4. That sounds reasonable. Right, it's telling us there was 224 bytes used, so yeah. Oh, window buffer state fail. Oh, we should probably have returned an error then. Why did we fail? Window buffering state failed. Does it work when we run it with this? No, buffering state okay there. Interesting, interesting. So that probably means I've made a mess somewhere in the module handling. So, and if any of these buffer data's failed, we probably want to return an error message, don't we? Oh, unless it was just reading the size. But why would that fail? Large buffer window. If we specify it as 0. Oh! No, other way around, other way around. That's what I did wrong. I gave it 0 bytes. That's why. Let's try that again. So we need to rebuild the host command, discuss, ammo, make file, module. Build the module again. Thank you. Ooh, that was interesting. I think it was just freeing its memory. It's quite cute. RM load, RM32. No, it can't have been. I don't know what it was doing there. Load the templates. Now run the test program. And pull up my, there we go. Come on, can we get something exciting? A window, that's exciting. I think it's exciting. It's pretty neat, really. Although, there we go. Although it's not a very good mode, so let's mode 28. That doesn't exist. Mode 28. Load the template again, and then we should have some grey colours on it now, which will look better. Right, so standard SWI now works in a very, very, very rudimentary way. Still there. Oh, this is because it scrolled something into it, isn't it? I think. Yeah, I think that's all it is. Okay, cool. There we go. So now we should go and commit some code. Update the module code to be able to read a template. Now use the dummy module SWI code to load a template file. That's pretty much it. Still missing enumeration and the font handling. And errors for buffer overflow aren't reported. All right. that is now done. But what I haven't done is I've just added that test load template code, but we never actually invoke it. So let's go and update. So this is the environment here. That's the test that loads the module. Okay, echo test that we can read a wildcard name. So let's use palette, and we used r star for that. Build the dummy module. Load the module, load im32.wimp templates, and then test that we can load a template with swise. What was it called? Test load template was the tool. And if all that works, we have something that's pretty decent. Let us commit that as well. Yep. Update the CI to invoke the template loading. Swise. And we'll push that and see whether it works. It's running. I'm out of tea. Here we go. Building test program, loading something. Ooh, that didn't look right. Ooh, what happened there? We got stringing icon, untitled. Maybe something going a bit wrong there. We might have to look into that one. This one is loading red background template. That looks good to me. Again, something a bit weird there. Not happy with that. We'll have to look into that as well. Built the module, doing wildcard search there. I should really turn off the wildcard check, shouldn't I? That might be just my debug printing something out wrongly rather than anything else. But that all seems to have passed, and it looks like it did the right thing. I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to turn off the wildcard debug because that's not very much use. Since we know it's working now. Turn off wildcard debug. All right, and I'm going to call it a day there, I think. So what we got out of this is, oh, I can probably merge this actually because this loading the templates is actually working now. Checkout master git merge no fast forward loading templates. Yep, and then we'll push that as well. You know what I haven't done? I built this module, but I never built it for 64-bit. Let's see if the 64-bit builds work as well, because it might be that I've broken something in 64-bit. There's warnings about the different sizes of pointers. That's to be expected. Seems to have built. And we know that that one builds as well. Yep, we can now build 32-bit test program and build that one as well. Nice. It's good when things work. I'm happy when things work. Cool. Right, so all up to date there. If we look up here, we should see that it's finished running its tests. It's all successful, which means that I think we can go and do I do releases on this? Git tag. I haven't done any releases before. I won't bother this time, but I have built the binaries. So move rm32. Yeah, there we go. Over there. And the status repository. I've made some changes to kernel modules. I won't commit that just yet, but I'll commit this one. Git commit window manager templates and rm32 and rm64. Update the templates. Oh, I haven't actually updated the text of them, have I? Where's it gone? Here it is, yeah. So we now handle wildcards. We do the read templates. We don't do sizing. We don't do that. We don't handle fonts, but we do. Oh no, we don't handle enumeration either. So we're all up to date. Yeah, that's all correct. So update templates with the update the Wimp Templates module with current state. We can now call slice, and whilst error handling is poor, the windows can appear on the screen. There we go. Push that, and if we have a look at the status here, hopefully this won't take long. I should just be able to reload the page, and hopefully it's not quite there yet. Either that or I've got something wrong. Yeah, there we go, lots of ticks. I could really tick open window and close open template and close template because we've implemented them, just not in the right way. Maybe I'll give them a dummy-wise functionality in there later. But that's gone quite well. I think we're looking pretty good. In fact, we probably could update it to be built because it does build. We're nearly at internals done. Not quite, but nearly at internals. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So this week, what have we done? We've managed to get templates to load. We've got the wildcards working. The indirected texts were part of that load and they work properly. And we are now at the point where the SWI calls can actually be implemented. Next week, we'll have a look at doing the enumeration and the reading the sizes and making sure that error handling is working properly, I think. And then if that all goes well, we'll start looking at handling fonts. Fonts are a bit of a pain, but we can do it. It's not impossible, not difficult. So it might be difficult, but it's not impossible. Right, so that's the end of this session. As I say, next week I'm hoping we'll have another session. Yeah, should be able to do one next week. Fingers crossed we'll be able to get through most of the remaining parts of the implementation, and if that's the case, we'll be moving on to something else. Feedback as usual. I'm happy to take anything you want to pass to me, either by message or email, or drop message onto the Riscos Open forums. Thank you very much, and I will see you hopefully next week. Bye. Which do I press? We go to the intros. Woohoo!